All right, I'm Joseph,
And I'm Michaela.
and we're Trouble on Paradise Island.
Ooh, Chris, again.
Again. We got a special guest. He can introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle.
How you doing, man?
Hi, Kyle.
Hi, everybody. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm an old friend of Joseph's since freshman year. And,
Yeah. It was the 8th grade.
8th grade, right.
Wow, you don't even remember.
Yeah, sorry. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. We don't hang out too often, honestly, which is really sad. I'm just busy.
Yeah, and I know that a lot, so I don't try to bother you because I feel like I'd be overloading you with too much stress.
No. But I do a lot of I do a lot of things.
What are you, 12?
Maybe.
I'm 11, so shut the fuck up.
I should probably introduce this. This is our first video podcast. We are, this is the first time we're doing this. We're trying this. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't work, maybe we're just gonna upload the audio. Yeah, but we decided to have Kyle do this for the first time.
We'll see what you guys get.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, also a little aesthetics. Let's see if they work. Yep. There they are. They change colors. Ooh.
Ooh, wait, I kind of like that. Ooh, I just hit you in the head. I kind of like that. I don't want to touch it because I want it to stay like that, so we're just going to leave that alone now.
Yeah, but
No!
we can just...
Joseph! No!
Yeah, but, so, how you been, man?
Honestly, it's been kind of smooth sailing for me. School really isn't too stressful. I mean, other than nice. My counselor keeps pushing more classes on me. And it kind of sucks because of that. Because for my senior year, I really wanted to kick back and not do any extra work, just because I feel like I'm kind of wasting away the free time that I have.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't really do much anything productive with it, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually just sleep in most of my classes because I'm ahead of all my work. I don't try to actually I'm one of those overachievers, but I'm not pushing to early graduation. I feel like that's just too much work to put in. Not enough sleep already.
I know.
Sleep deprived.
I know a couple people going for early graduation.
We can't do that at our school.
Yeah, we can.
What?
Yeah, we can. It depends, honestly. At our school, it really depends. If you go to the alt, you can graduate early, really early.
Well, yeah.
But it's just, it's not really worth it because you don't get your associate's degree.
That's what I meant. If you want your associate's degree, you have to go all 4 years.
Yeah, thankfully your guys' school is lucky enough to have the funding to provide, and the teachers, the capacity to be able to, give you guys associate's degrees if you follow their program. See, for my school, unfortunately, they don't do that. But with the lack of size, right, it's easier to have one-on-one with a kid.
Yeah.
So that you could teach stuff better. But a lot of our teachers, I would say, aren't really much qualified to teach their classes. So
that sucks. That's always very rough.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't I should have followed it a lot more. I didn't follow it as much as I probably should have, the program, but honestly, it is a great program for people who are willing to put in the work. I guess I just really wasn't prepared for how much work it was. Even they told us it was
they warned us.
It was gonna be so hard, but
they're you're gonna have at least 2 hours of homework a night,
which isn't exactly true. That was a little bit of that was a little bit over dramatic.
But it's good that they mentally kind of prepared you a little bit. Oh yeah, you come here, you're gonna have massive homework.
Junior year was the hardest year. This year, senior year, you're a junior.
One more year for you.
It's my hardest year, and
yeah.
We just don't talk about it. It's stressful. It's a lot.
Yeah. See, they for my school, right? Or just what I've been told, the years that are usually the hardest is sophomore. But that's because for regular public schools, and I don't know if it's the same for others. Even at our school, the 10th grade year was when you have to take the the I-STEP test that
Oh yeah.
finally like determines whether or not you graduate, and that year was fairly easy for me.
I would say
I was able to pass that.
Besides I-STEP, sophomore year has been the easiest year out of like every academic year. It's been the easiest, especially in high school.
For me, I probably have to say this year is the easiest.
Really?
The only class I really struggled with right now, am struggling with, is calculus.
I have a couple friends taking calc.
Yeah, calc is like a super harder algebra 2.
That
so
sucks.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I have a good enough teacher that'll help me push through that. So
yeah, I am taking trigonometry right now, and
trig was super easy.
I know I hate trig so much right now. Like the teacher,
calculator.
The teacher, he's really cool. Like he's very like thorough. Some people like just like they don't understand because they're kind of like the people that are like, why does it work like this? Like how does it work like this? And like
that's what proofs are for.
Yeah, and but he doesn't really explain it. He's just like, oh, this works like this and like this, and everyone's like, why? And they're like, can I, like, we're working on, like, reference angles or whatever right now. And this one kid, he sits right behind me, and he keeps asking. He's like, can I draw the triangle this way? Why can't I draw it the other way? And he's like, because you can't. And I'm like, okay, explain why. Like, I kind of see why he's asking, but, like...
Yeah.
And then this kid's getting frustrated. He's like, can I draw this triangle the other way? And our math teacher is like... You get 3 questions a period now. He's like that. He's like, he's like, it doesn't matter what kind of question it is. Once you're at 3, you're done.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't.
No, yeah, he's just joking.
Yeah. Our class dealt with the teacher completely different than that.
Yeah.
So, my teacher was, he previously was from the army. So
he military.
He has a very strict teaching regimen, and what sucked the most, right, was that pretty much what would happen is so the kids would ask him questions, and he tried to explain it, but the way he explained it was just like so confusing,
right? So
the kids just like didn't understand, so they got fed up with him. They were being rude, and instead they just give me a book, I'll read it from the book, and I'm sure I'd understand that better.
Yeah.
And he got upset. He was like, that's not, that's why they have a teacher for a class, so that I can teach you, not you teach yourself.
I can guarantee you, but there are some classes, especially like at our school, that like you teach yourself.
Oh, 100%.
The teacher is there to just look over you.
No, we do. We have several classes like that, and there are a lot of like medical classes. Like there's a class at our school called medical terminology. That's all online. One is like health careers. You do everything online. You never really talk to the teacher. Our psychology class is like that. It's all through like an online like forum. Yeah, it's a course. Like it's all. We have a lot of independent study classes at our school.
Yeah, the only one that I've taken so far, actually, there's 2. I've taken web design.
That one's I didn't take that.
Web design was the easiest class I've ever taken because our teacher, it was online, and he basically gave us, I think it was like maybe 5 or 10 like assignments to do, right? And he gave us weeks at a time to do them. So I could finish the assignment like right away, and it wouldn't be a problem. And you can finish all your assignments right away, and it wouldn't be a problem. The only thing in that class that like we did was the final, because every school has to give a final like during final periods. So they gave us a final about like what we learned and everything like that, and that was it. Literally, like you could have finished web design the very first class and it'd be done. And it was actually like an easy class, and I enjoyed it because like I learned about HTML and stuff like that, and it was really fun.
The one thing that's rough about our online classes is because they're through a university, and so like when like they take their final down at the university, that's when we have to take our final, whether it's in our final period at school or not. And so that happened.
I forgot about that.
That happened
yeah.
with my medical terminology class. We took our final like a week before we went on winter break because they were going on winter break. So we had to take it then, and kind of sucked. But we also started 2 weeks late. Like we started because they don't start till 2 weeks after we start, and then they end like a week early. So there's a lot of content shoved into like 14 weeks.
If you guys see me like looking up, that's where my computer's at and where I can see the time. Just making sure that we're, staying fluent with it and not just messing up anything. So that's just when ow.
But yeah, just to add to that, like when I first took a college course at the college, because my counselor told me that the more I take, it's $500 towards my degree. So of course that was like an incentive to start doing the classes more. So
Right.
that's what I did, and I wanted to be smart about my time. So I decided to only take the classes that were like either prerequisites for my degree.
Okay, yeah.
So one of them was sociology, and I hear that a lot of people take this class. It's almost required for any degree. So I took the class. I went there. It was fine, and the same thing. She said you could have just do all the homework right now, would not matter. She would grade it all, let you know, and then you just have to wait for the finals and take those and you're done. But unfortunately for me, this is the first time, because in this type of setting it's a lot easier. There's not much stress of like a time limit being pushed on your back. You have a lot more time to complete assignments than only like say an hour per class period. And then since my school doesn't allow kids to go home, because if you still have work to finish, they expect you to finish it there at the school.
What do you think that is?
So they don't believe that kids will actually spend time on their academics, and I think that's just at my school because they're a little biased of the student body.
Do you think that hurts students, like what is it?
Academic performance and their success rate later on.
I wouldn't say it hurts them in a mental thing. I feel like they just think extra stuff that they don't really need to do. They just feel like, oh, this is going out of the way. This is, as they would put it, doing too much. So
doing too much.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
I went to his school my 8th grade year. I can honestly say I really didn't enjoy it.
It's funny, he said he didn't enjoy it. I thought it was honestly the coolest year that I've had yet. But I think that's just because you were there.
Ooh.
And like honestly, you were like an awesome friend. So I honestly like couldn't wait to go to school just because like I'd be able to talk with you.
The friends that I met there, out of all the friends, Kyle is the only person that I kept in touch with. A lot of drama happened, and it's crazy because it was an all boys school. A lot of drama happened over girls.
Yeah, well, that was really only on your side.
That's fair.
Yeah, you were the only one that dug a hole every single time. No offense.
Yikes.
No offense. I mean, I've been there since the first.
Yeah.
So I've been there. I've seen it all. I've been there supporting you through it the entire time, and you've been there for me in my downs. So
it wasn't a necessarily bad year. It's just that's when like I started going to therapy and like trying to get like better. So like that school just didn't help because a lot of like, I wouldn't say a lot of people there are bullies, but I would say a lot of the people there that like didn't like that I was smart or trying to do better for myself.
Funny that you mentioned that, actually, because since you've left, it's honestly picked up a lot. Like the amount of freedoms that you get there now, the amount of chances that they give people. The teachers are a lot, I guess I should say, fair when they decide like to them what is fair, like who should be sent to isolation or not, instead of it being one-sided or it's your fault, you should know better, blah blah blah. Trying to play that kid role onto you. They honestly expect you to act mature. They don't want to sit there and hear stupid excuses. And that's why I like the school a lot, because it like builds up maturity. And honestly, for me, it's helped me do that a lot. But I feel like a lot of things that's happened in the past 2 to 3 years right now, like I said, I mean, it's been smooth sailing pretty much, but that's only because I make it that way. I honestly don't try to spend too long on something because it just, if I'm gonna dwell on it, then it's obviously not important enough for me to sit there and like actually decide whether or not like can I actually waste time right now? Do I have that time to waste? The real world is right there. I can't just sit there, drop a
everything
week and have to think about a stupid situation that happened.
I spent a lot of time the past 3 to 4 years just like figuring out who I am and what I wanted to do. I feel like a lot of it stems from like not being able to do much, and I don't really like people controlling me. So that's probably my problem with that school.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised about why you don't like being controlled.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, all the other. I don't know. I feel like the other relationships, they kind of controlled you in that way. But do you see that for yourself? Like, do you honestly think that's how it was, and why you have that sort of feeling now?
I think it's that like, at first, freshman year was getting to know everything. Sophomore year was like, all right, I lost weight. I'm feeling more comfortable in my own skin.
Mm-hmm.
And then junior year was like, I'm comfortable in my skin and I don't have to weigh like 120 pounds. Like right. I can gain a little chub and still be like fine with who I am.
Yeah.
Just touch me. And then like I feel like it was just like me learning how to like deal with like people and life situations that happen and who should really be in my life and who shouldn't be in my life. Mm-hmm. Because recently it's just been nothing but good memories, and I can say like honestly that I don't think I've had like a bad day in at least a year.
Yeah, that's a pretty good time actually, not to have a bad day.
I know, like there's been days where like breakups and stuff like that, but then you learn from things like that, and mm-hmm. it just you get this sense of maturity. And as soon as senior year hit, it like snapped, because like at first it was like, should I act how I used to act like this, like be sad and be just always just not ready to move on, and until the next person comes or till the next thing comes, like be sad or depressed. And that once like senior hit, it just didn't feel right like to be that way anymore. I feel like when people leave, it's just now when people leave, it's just an excuse for other better people to come along, and you learn from that. Because now the people I surround myself with, like, sometimes they don't make great choices and sometimes they're stupid. Sometimes they annoy me, but like overall speaking, it's just been like they've been family to me. Like they've looked at my past, they've asked how I felt, they've been there for me, and the people that I surround myself with now have been like the people that I think will be the people that I surround myself with for the rest of my life, because they're just that good of people. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoy like just being able to be comfortable again. I felt like before I didn't have a voice and I couldn't be heard, but now like if I dye my hair, if I like paint my nails, or get a ring, get a like nose ring or anything like that, it won't be a problem. Before I felt like it would have been.
Right. And one of the questions that I always had on my mind, right, is because both of us are in like two different situations. So like the areas that we live in, and pretty much the people we surround ourselves with, right? So I know you're in like a large friend group, right? So
yeah, fairly decent size, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly because of the school you go to.
Yeah.
Right? It's a large school.
Well, there's 300 students in our whole...
Yeah, at my school there's 80. 80
there's just
students.
80 kids at your school?
Yeah.
That's how many kids are in my entire class.
Yeah. See,
we have like 50.
That's what I mean by like different situations.
Right.
So, seeing all of your friends and like being from like different backgrounds, right? Is it surprising, like, seeing the way they've changed over the past couple of years, or do you think like you kind of expected this?
I did not expect this because um, there's only been one real person in like my school that has been there for me from the very start, or like two. There's been a couple people, but like one that I mainly, or two that I mainly recognize. It's Isabel and Brady. They've both like have gone through the friend groups with me. So at first it was like four of us and two girls, and then all of them left sophomore year, or two of them left or three of them left sophomore year, one of them left freshman year, and that group just died out eventually. And then we moved on to the next group, and that's where I found my next relationship at. And then I wasn't expecting change. I wasn't expecting change at all. And then after that, it just went downhill. And I can't say that like it went downhill like it ended decently, because it didn't. There's still a lot of bad blood, which I wish there wasn't. Honestly, some of the people that like are in that group were like really close to me, and I sometimes miss it, but you got to realize that people change, situations change, and that's just how life works. Right now, seeing the backgrounds of these people that I like know are so like interesting and unique, because a lot of them come from Asian background. So you get to learn a little bit of culture with them. You ask questions, because before I felt like I was scared to ask questions about religion, like what believe in, like how should I talk, how are you very like pristine, and a lot of it's just very comfortable. Like they'll cuss, they'll like laugh, they'll joke around with us, and it's great. It's great. And it's great to see that like different countries and different parts of the world, like how we interact. And before it was like there was just a small group, and now it's just, we're all friends.
It's so big now. We're
all friends. And the only two people, I feel like Isabel has kind of went out of her shell a little bit. Like before it was very nervous and shy, and now she's a senior, and it's just like, yeah,
what have I got left to lose?
Yeah, like I'm a senior, like what's new? And then Brady's like, I'm a senior, I'm gonna run this, like I'm gonna do the best for me. And it's great.
That'd be interesting to see Brady do that.
Yeah.
It like, I feel like the most interesting thing about Brady is that like he's always had my back, and that's something I really appreciated. Like not only have you, but like my closest friends have had my back. Even if I was wrong, if I was right, they said, you know what, you were wrong, but you need to own up to that, and that doesn't mean I'm not your friend.
Just stating this, I've never said that. I've always been on your side 24/7, no matter what situation.
A little biased.
Oh, no. It wasn't biased, because that's my honest feelings. We think a lot of the time that we have the same thought process pretty much. So like, past issues that have come up in your life, I've pretty much been right behind you, thinking that it wasn't your fault, because not like just because you're my friend and I wanted you to like accept that, like, yeah, I'm behind you. It's more like because that's honestly, if I was in the same situation, I'd want the same thing.
Yeah, it's just interesting, seeing who has your back and like who's really your friend and who's really not.
I feel like that always happens around junior year. Does that happen for you? Happen for people in your friend groups? Happening for me, really figuring out who like
you guys are
is gonna like who's sticking around and all that. So
how does that work for you? Like
what do you mean?
How is your friend group compared to like freshman year and sophomore year and junior year? Like how has it changed?
Freshman year, it was just the people I came from my old school with. There was like 5 of us that all came from the same school to the school we go to now, and we stayed pretty much like very like tight and knit, because we were all kind of scared, except for one. Like he just did not, he's friends with everybody. Like he was friends with seniors when we were freshmen. Now he's a junior and he's friends with freshmen. Like he is all over the place. And sophomore year, at the end of freshman year and like the beginning of sophomore year, I started hanging out with another friend group along with my old friend group, and we kind of all like mixed together, and it was just like a really big friend group then. And then like things started to go kind of like not downhill, but kind of, because there was a lot of issues in that friend group about people just like not being polite and not being nice, and so we kind of like broke off a little, and now it's just that friend group from freshman year, a little smaller because some people left and went to other schools, but we're also more like acquainted with other people too. Like freshman year it was just us, and it was only just us, and now it's like us, but we like talk to other people and like from other friend groups, and we're nice, and we don't like, we're not scared anymore, so that's been nice. But a lot of like my best friend freshman year is, I can't tell you the last time I had like a solid conversation with her, so
Ooh.
that's how high school has changed that for me. And
Jeez.
But I've had a friend that I've been friends with since I was 4 years old, and we've had our ups and downs for sure. I remember one time in like middle school, we were about to throw hands. We were so mad at each other, and now like she's always the person like that I go to when I'm in distress. I'm like,
You know, I can honestly agree with that. You know, he knows Caden. He might be on the podcast. I'll ask him about that. But he's I've known him since 2nd grade, and he's not only always been there, but he's also annoyed the hell out of me.
I can definitely say Caden is one of the more annoying one of your friends.
Oh my God, he's watching this.
But see, that's the thing. No. When we were younger, the girl I was talking about, I've mentioned her before, so I don't know why I didn't say her name. Her name's Kaylee.
Kaylee, yeah.
And Kaylee, the reason we met was because her brother and my brother were friends, and so when one time her older brother was over at my house, and I used to have this huge German Rottweiler.
Oh, I thought you were going to say crush, and I was like, what?
No, he's like 5 years older than me. No. My German Rottweiler bit his hand, and so we, like, it didn't like...
Put him down?
Huh?
Is it put down the dog?
No. It wasn't like because she only ever playfully bit, but it did leave like a little scratch because he was like... What are you, stop. He like, I don't know, like, it left a scratch, but... So my mom, like, we went over to take him back home, and I went with my mom, and my mom actually knew his mom from high school, and they were best friends in high school, and then my brother and her son were best friends, and then I met Kaylee one time, like that time when we went over, because my mom's like, my dog bit your son. And then they started talking, and then Kaylee and I were about the same age, so then we just like started hanging out, and like ever since then it's just like been history basically. But when we were younger, my parents hated when she spent the night because she was so loud. Like, we joke all the time now that Kaylee has crackhead vibes. Like, she has very, not like
A little bit.
like, she's off the walls. Like, she's got really big crackhead energy, and she still does, but she's not as loud anymore, thank God. But I told her that the other day. I was like, yo, my parents used to hate you on the low because you were annoying.
But yeah, Caden and I have had our ups and downs. You know, situations happened. Me and him have, like, you know, not been friends for a little bit, but like, you know, there's something about that friend that you've always had that, like, no matter what happens, that you know their family. And yes, he can be annoying, and yes, I can be annoying, but like, you know, we're still like have that bond where it's just like we've known each other forever, and like we have each other's backs, even if like if I were to text him after we were like fighting and I'd be like, hey, I really need you, he would have been there for me no matter what. And that stands for any of my friends now. If like we fought and I was like, we're not friends anymore, or like we're not cool, if I texted them right now and be like, hey, I really need you, that's one of the things I can say that like they will be there for me, which is it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing having friends like that. But I wanted to segue something. So
What are you segueing?
I am going to segue something. So, she doesn't know about this because I just came up with this idea. So, we have Cards Against Humanity right here.
Oh, I figured that's what you were gonna. Okay.
Right.
Can we technically play this game?
Yeah, you're not. I'm gonna wait. So basically, this week there's gonna be 2 videos. There's gonna be.
Huh?
Yeah, there's gonna be 2 videos. So this is the podcast, and we're gonna start doing regular videos now. So videos with our guests. Yeah. I just wanted to drop that surprise on you right now.
Right now, in the middle of recording.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How do you feel?
It's a great idea. Actually, I like that idea.
So the next video the first video that goes up will be the Cards Against Humanity video, and it'll be great. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Kyle will be playing with us.
Hopefully, yeah.
Why don't we just do it now?
Because I wanted to talk about other things, get to know.
Yeah, I feel like the game would kind of like distract us from the important talk.
True. This
Yeah.
is such a big box.
What is it? The biggest, blackest box?
The bigger
black.
That's what it
blacker
says.
box.
Nice. Anyways, but so I wanted to say something. I feel like a lot of people like these type of podcasts where we just talk. I feel like the second podcast and the first one were a little rough, but like the third one we just talked, and I feel like
We got a lot of feedback on that one.
That's-
Everyone's
yeah,
like, I like that one the most because it felt like a conversation.
so that's probably what we're gonna be doing more. It's just a conversation. We'll probably do a little bit of video podcasts every now and then. See how that goes. See how this one goes. But this is our setup. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But
I like the setup.
So Kyle, I just wanted to ask you, what is one of your favorite childhood games? Because that's a question that we ask everyone.
That's like the
So, going back to my childhood, right? I was a very lonely child.
I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Because the story behind it actually is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
So as a kid, I was diagnosed with ADHD, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of energy to spend, pretty much. And
Yeah.
I was always outside, and I was trying to play with all the other kids.
Okay.
But I would kind of be outside a little too much, as in like I'd be out there every single day wanting to play with their children. And I'm like, all right, once the parents started telling me that kids weren't home when I knew they were, I was like, all right, they probably don't want me here. So
Yeah.
so I started to just stay inside, and I had toys inside. It's just but through it all, probably my first system, actual gaming system, was a PS2.
Yes. That's where it all started for everyone. PS2.
And probably the best game that I had for the PS2 was the God of War series. Honestly, specifically God of War 2. I honestly think that's the best game in the series.
Really?
Yeah, that one is God of War, Sisters of Fate, and that's where you have to go back in time to kill your father. Yeah,
I like it.
because he murdered you at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you go to hell?
Well, see, the main the biggest backstory behind that entire game was you were a war hero, and you were actually going to die on the battlefield.
And then Ares, right?
And then Ares gave you some powers at the cost of being his servant. And you were still not a complete warrior yet because of your family being alive.
Yeah.
Like your wife.
So you're binded by that.
You couldn't maximize your potential pretty much. So while they were raiding a city, Ares himself used his god powers to put their family there, and he murdered them.
Yeah.
In cold blood.
And that's the ashes that are on him. That's why he's white.
That's why he's white, because an old witch, while the house was burning down, cursed him to wear the ashes of his dead family. And not only that, he was also cursed to relive the memories of killing his family and their screams every single night. And in the second game, he eventually kills Ares and becomes a god of war.
Yeah.
And it's just honestly an amazing game.
I think the story is what's made it
the story
matter.
was awesome, but I just like the mechanic wise, because the story was great, but in all the other God of Wars, you have energy you have to use with the weapons, but in 2 you didn't have any like energy use, you could use the weapons anytime you wanted, and then you could run multiple playthroughs with the same weapons as long as you did it on the same difficulty. And there was also rewards for doing it on a harder level each time.
Ooh, I am sorry.
Oh my god!
I'm not comfortable. I'm trying to get comfortable.
To answer your question in short, it was God of War 2.
God of War.
And it started out on the PS2 for me.
What is this?
Segue. Same topic. How it started with everyone on the PS2.
It's not a segue.
No, it's not a segue. It's the same topic. But like you mentioned, it started for everyone on the PS2. It reminded me of the Finding Nemo game on the PS2. The really bad one. That like.
Okay.
I don't know if they can see that, but it was literally.
Am I doing the thing right?
The makeup thing. No, it was so. I remember, like, it was. I don't even remember what you did in this game. I just remember, like, I remember swimming through hoops a lot, like rings, and I never did it fast enough, and all the other fish always beat me, and I was angry all the time. I never won, and now I can't find this game, and I'm a little upset. Not gonna lie.
Watch, we'll go to a store, and I'll find it,
I
and
think
you'll
I
like
have
cry.
it, but I don't know, like, if I can get my PS2 to work. So, it's in good condition. I just, like, can't. I don't know how to, like, connect stuff. I always make my, like, for years, every time, like, I needed to, like, switch between the PlayStation 3 and my PlayStation 4, or, like, between, like, HD, and I always made my brother do it. I'm like, Sean, you need to...
You need to do this for me, please.
Yeah, because I can't.
It's just one cord, though, that you have to, like, switch over.
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
Or
just
if
one.
your TV had enough HDMI slots, then you could just have
It
them
has,
all plugged
like-
in and just change the input device.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Which normals TVs?
Yeah.
3.
But,
Ju-
like,
just
we
3.
have, like,
Some have 4,
Yeah.
5.
we have my mom's Wii plugged in, too.
Oh gosh.
Let
Do
me
you guys
tell
play?
you. No, but I've never seen somebody, we used to, I've never seen somebody get so heated over Mario as I've seen my mom. Like,
I don't know. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there.
she's called Mario some choice words that I...
Although I'm talking about like in newer Mario games, like Mario Party.
I was talking about Mario. I was thinking Mario Maker. How hard they make those games.
They do that on purpose
Yeah.
to make them hard. That's the whole. Like when I thought they brought out that game, I thought like, oh, no one's gonna play this.
No,
It's-
but
everyone thought to play it, and I was so surprised because I'm like, but it's just a building game. Like there's no like actual story to this.
No.
You're just completing to get onto the scoreboard.
And like
Yeah.
original Mario was kind of like, not kind of like that, but it was like it had a story, but like it was just like you're gonna.
You're
do this.
always just trying to save Peach.
Yeah.
Also,
Aw, Toad, your princess isn't here.
Joseph sucks at Mario Kart.
Does he?
No.
Yes. No.
I beat her the other day.
No, you didn't. The controller didn't work. There's
lying.
a difference. No.
She is lying.
No, what happens is we go to Walmart. We go to Walmart, right? And they have the Nintendo Switch there, right? And we always play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
And I always beat him.
That's not true.
Oh, yes it is. And the other day we went to the GameStop in the mall.
Nope.
And we went to play. No. And my control, he's like, it's A to go. And so I was holding it. And I was just like going in circles. And I wasn't going very fast either. And so I was in last place. He said, oh, looks like you lose. I said, that's not fair. The controller isn't working.
Yeah, but was it really A to go?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I tried every button. Nothing was
Can you
enough.
imagine if I just told her the wrong button? the
Yeah,
entire time?
that'd be hilarious just to win.
Well, I turned the game off and walked away. So.
Yeah. I was like, okay, nice. But
It wouldn't go. He loses every time we go to Walmart, though. So.
You know what I like watching? Mario speedruns.
You know, I'm not so recently, just to branch off of what you said of speedrun, because it came to mind. A game I've really been looking into recently, even though it's old, is Dark Souls 3.
Oh, I knew it. I knew you were gonna say that.
And I've been looking at a lot of speedruns, or just like any way to complete it faster than it normally will. I mean, like the longest speedrun I probably watched all the way through was the all achievement run, and that took 12 hours. And I sat through all 12 because I wanted to know like how people did it, and I didn't know a goddamn thing that was happening. So
Literally, could not get past the first boss in Dark Souls.
For Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is you mentioned that is there's actually 2 ways you can defeat him, and
You can try to kill him, right, with the broken sword, or is that 2?
No, you're right. You can try to kill him with a broken sword,
just
but
Dip.
I don't remember what class you have to pick to get the broken sword, but that's like the worst weapon in the game.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who's speed run the game with only that, killing all the bosses. It was ridiculous. And
How long was that?
I think it was like 8 hours.
Yeah, that makes about. Right.
I mean, the world record right now is I think like 36 minutes or something like that.
Jesus.
For 3. But that guy got super lucky in all of his runs, like for each segment that he was in. But anyways, if you start out as the thief class, you get a bow. And bow only playthroughs are actually like pretty cool if you know how to do it right, if you have the DLCs. But right when he activates, you can shoot him right in the face right before he does his animation, where he activates completely. And if you do that, he bugs out and he stands there, and you can just hit him till he dies.
Wow.
That is BS.
That's the first cheese of the game that you actually are allowed to do.
No, literally, it was the first Dark Souls game, and my dad was like, my dad wanted me to play so bad, and I was like, I don't know, and he kept trying to get me to play 2 and 3, and I am kind of picky, like, about games. Like, there's only like 1 game series that I've played really out of order, and that's Assassin's Creed, because they kind of all like.
I've never beaten a single Assassin's Creed game.
What?
Their story is way too long, honestly, for me to get into.
See,
the one that I played the longest was, I think I completed up to like 46%, and that was the 3rd one.
Oh, the 3rd one is so good.
Okay,
It's one of my favorites.
One of my favorites.
The second one is probably my favorite.
The 3rd one, all the way.
Isn't that the one with Ezio?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get his special armor by unlocking all the stupid tokens, and it's in the bottom of the church.
Yep. But no, like, literally, my dad.
Hate it.
My dad was like, "Oh no, like play Dark Souls." I said, "I'll play if you buy me the first one." And so we found it, like a used copy at GameStop, and it was like $5. So we go home and we play it. I get my character all
$5.
$5. I get my character all set up. I'm getting ready to play, and I sit there for an hour trying to beat this guy, and I couldn't.
3 or was it 2?
It was the first one.
Oh, it was the first one?
And my brother came out, and he's like, "Oh, I bet your brother can do it. Just let him do it." I said, "No." I was like, "I want to do this on my own." So my brother makes a whole new account.
3 hours later.
and then within like 5 minutes, my brother beat the boss, and he's like, "Oh, see, your brother's bad," and I'm like, literally, don't talk to me, and I walked away.
In the second game, what's funny is that the first boss that you're supposed to fight, depending on the class you pick, you actually get 5 black fire bombs, and a lot of people didn't know that you just like use those right away because they do about, I think, like 700 to 1200 damage per bomb, and you can kill the first boss, and you can start off the game with an extra pair of armor that you sells for a lot of money, and you also get an extra soul so you can upgrade faster.
I just want to play. I just want to beat the first boss.
I played Dark Souls 3 because everyone's like, Dark Souls 3, best one. And I'm like, okay. And then I played it for a little bit. I never finished it. And then Bloodborne.
I did not like Bloodborne.
You didn't like Bloodborne?
No. Honestly, it felt like too much mechanic. Because like the things spawned randomly. Their attack patterns were pretty much all random. So,
which, I mean, I found unique about the game. But, like, I never finished Bloodborne. I never finished it. Didn't the second one come out?
I'm pretty sure, it did. But I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I've just lost interest. I mean, those games are so old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of, like, 3 games right now.
Okay.
It's really bad.
What is your opinion on Borderlands?
Which, like, just the series?
Just the series.
Okay. So, I played Borderlands 2.
Everyone? Yep. Everyone.
I never started out on 1.
No, I don't think I did either.
I've played 1, but I don't think I've beaten it.
I mean, it's no different than the Crysis series, if you guys ever heard of that. I started out on 2 for that one as well, and then I eventually moved on to 3, which sucked, in my opinion. But anyways, Borderlands, it's a great game. It really depends on like what situation you get put up against, because like I know that there's like different mechanics.
Yeah.
So for like armor enemies, you're supposed to use corrosive.
Yeah.
And for for other things, you're supposed to use
Fire.
fire for like flesh or shock for shields, and you have to have large shields. I
didn't
beat
know
the
that.
second one, and then eventually looked up like a lot of ways like to farm good gear, and I did that, and I got into my 50s. I think it was like a level 54, and I started out as the assassin because any game that's a first-person shooter, I want to be a sniper. Because I like just killing enemies at long range.
And just really quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a melee tree that you could go, but I hated it. It was stupid. The only thing that was useful was when you activate your stealth thing, it lasted like 3 seconds longer, and that really could save your life, because that could start your regen on your shield. It was a great game. And I was really excited when they were going to drop 3.
Oh, 3 is so good. I beat it. It was so good. I don't know why I stopped playing it, but like... It was a solid game. I really enjoy 3.
Unfortunately, broke boy over here could not buy it.
Huh?
I said broke boy over here could not buy it.
I got it for Christmas.
Like that. You got 3 for Christmas?
Yeah, I told you that.
Oh yeah, you did.
Because my parents, I only got 2 games for Christmas this year, which was crazy. I told my parents I wanted one thing for Christmas. I told them I wanted a Polaroid camera, and they always spend the same amount of money on both my brother and I, and there was like way more on that tree than a Polaroid camera. And I was really confused on like everything. I was like, what? I was like, if you guys didn't get the Polaroid, I'm like, I don't know what you got.
Right.
I'm like, I didn't ask for anything.
I tricked her because like she was just like, what did my parents get you? And like me, is that why you're not getting a Polaroid? And I was like, they didn't get you a Polaroid.
And so I was very like I was really confused. I was like, what? I was like, what did they get me then? Like, for 2 weeks, I was like, what? I was like, I didn't ask for anything. I'm like, I didn't want anything except for a Polaroid. Because I think Polaroids are just aesthetic. And so, yeah, I ended up getting a Polaroid. But I opened it and I was like, he lied to me. But they also got me. I remember I was sitting over here and my dad called me and he was like, Borderlands 3? I said, what about it? He's like, you want it? I said, yeah. He said, okay, love you, bye. Click. And I was like, what? Okay. And then, like, an hour later, he calls me. He's like, GTA 5? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, bye, click. And I'm like... So, those are the 2 games I got for Christmas. And when I opened them, I'm like, wow. I was like, I never would have guessed. He's like, all right. He's like, no need for an attitude.
But that's video games is something that like I feel got me through like a bunch of like bad times.
Yeah, it definitely like can just completely take the
edge off
away from like being upset or something because you just have that there to waste your time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of the times people make decisions off of like being angry or like being sad. They'll do something drastic, but like a video game will sit there and make you think about it. Like some video games I play like mindlessly, where like I'm just sitting there on my keyboard and I'm just playing, and then like I'm just hitting buttons and that's it. And like I'll just sit there and think about like certain things that have happened throughout the day and seeing if like they're like the right decisions or like what to do about them. So like I feel like that's what video games were used for me for a while, but now they're like just as video games keep going on and on, I care about graphics. I see how like beautiful the game looks.
Yeah, so like for me, I never really looked at a game like aesthetically, and like a lot of the time when I'm having a bad day, I don't really play a game to like get through it because I know that I'm just not gonna perform well in it. So I just pretty much go lay down somewhere or listen to music or something. And a lot of the time I feel like that's the best thing to do, because sitting there and thinking about it rather than just trying to distract yourself from it won't solve the problem. Sometimes sitting there thinking about it, you may actually think like, well, maybe there was something that I did wrong, or I should apologize just because there was no need for me to act like that, or and I feel like those are the times that makes us more mature. And when we actually want to sit there and admit about it, then you know.
What I mean by like sitting down and playing video games, because I play video games mindlessly sometimes, where I'm, like I said, I was just hitting buttons just to chill, right? So I'll calm down and I'll think about like decisions. It happens often at night is when you really do think about your decisions, and like throughout the day, like what did this happen, what if this happened, you just sit there and then you think about them. So when I'm playing video games, I just sit there and like try to think about like if I did something wrong, like what can I do to be better as a person,
Right.
as a whole. Do you ever do that?
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'm over spring break. I was like,
Last year.
yeah, last year. I was like, it wasn't really a hard time for me, but it kind of was. Like, I was home a lot, and I don't like when I'm like idling. It's not good for me. Like, I need to be doing something. I need to like my mind has to be on something else, or it just reverts back to just like, it's not even if I'm like upset at a person or like a situation, like I just, or like it'll just go back to stuff that happened like a really long time ago, and then I'll just get like, I'll hurt myself, like not like physically, I should clarify, wait like
Emotionally.
I get my feelings hurt. That's what I meant. My feelings get hurt. And so like,
My God.
so I remember I beat Dying Light within like spring break. Like, I started at the beginning, and like 2 days before the end of spring break I was done, and let me say that game, fantastic. So like, I feel like sometimes I'll just like sit there and like while I'm playing, if I hate when people talk when there's dialogue. That's my biggest pet peeve, is when I'm playing a game and there's dialogue and people try and have a conversation with me. I'm like, go away.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because like a lot of people hate the dialogue, so they do talk through it.
I love dialogue.
A lot of people play games and just like action.
No,
Who
like,
cares what they say.
Over the weekend, just last weekend, Joseph made me play Life is Strange, and anytime he would try and talk to me while like they were talking, which basically that whole game is talking, I would
Yeah, pretty much.
I would ignore him. I'd be like, stop talking to me.
Okay, and then I got the gist of it, so like we just started pausing the game.
Yeah, he would just like lean over and like pause it, and I'm like,
Yeah, that is like so. So my so you know, I'm a big fan of anime.
Yeah.
Right? I like to watch a lot of shows like that. My brother is he doesn't read as fast as me. Let's just say that. And whenever I find something good, because he's real lazy, he only wants to watch what I'm watching because he doesn't want to look for it himself.
Yeah.
So I will be sitting there watching it, and I'll be reading the subtitles, because I only like to watch and subbed, because I don't like to hear the same English actors over and over and over again. So that's just it for me. And then whenever I'm watching it, he will always lean over, pause, and be like, "What did he say?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and read it to you, all right? Like, you're a big boy, you can do it. Like, go watch it on your computer. Go away.
Go.
shoot.
And he won't.
He won't.
He won't. And another one of my biggest pet peeves that he does is that we don't have anything to, like, put our feet on, like a footrest or anything.
So put his feet on you.
Yeah.
What?
What he does.
What?
He will put both of his legs, and he'll just have him sit on my leg, and I'm like, listen, I am not a couch cushion. You need to get off of me.
Listen,
I can't feel my leg.
I can't feel my... Yo, that sucks. Or like when you're sitting like crisscross,
Yeah.
and like one foot's under the other, and like your foot goes numb, and you like pull it out.
That's how I always sit when I eat dinner, because it's very comfortable for me to sit with one leg under, right? And after like 30 minutes of sitting there, because you're on your phone, you're wasting time. Yeah, and then you're just like,
Just
oh,
chilling.
I actually have to get up now. Well, I'll be here another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's been a good podcast, right? What did you think?
I mean, yeah, this is great. This is great talking to you guys. Like, like I said, I first found out about you guys doing this podcast stuff. Not even 2 days ago. I kid you not.
Which is crazy, because it's been all over our social medias.
It's all over it.
Well, see, I've actually had to deal with a lot of stuff at the house recently. So,
problem.
but I mean, like nothing bad.
Okay.
Just mostly like chores.
Oh, okay.
or like I've been sick recently. I'm sure you guys heard me coughing
Yeah.
and stuff.
He over here dying.
Yeah, just a little bit. It'll be fine. And
It's a little bit of death never hurt anybody.
I don't really listen to podcasts because I feel like it's just, it's not like something I'm usually watching.
Yeah.
Or I find entertaining. I listened to the first one. You know, I like the idea and everything.
The first one was like getting to know, chilling.
The second one I thought was honestly boring. I almost fell asleep. I'm sorry. It's just you guys talked about a lot of like random stuff, and I thought like, are they going anywhere with this?
No.
Or
She definitely said that.
I said that. I was like, you need to like segue, like give us a little time to talk.
But then the third one, that one was awesome because like when it first started off, I was like, all right, what are we gonna talk about today? And you guys are like, let's just talk about how we first met. And I was like, oh, this would be an interesting story. So then you guys are talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. Like, you know, it felt like as it does now, like I'm actually sitting here listening to you guys talk about it. You know, it honestly felt amazing. Just like being able to listen. I felt like I was right there. You know, I felt like you guys were talking to me face to face, and I was just listening, and it was just that feeling was awesome. So when I got finished listening to it the next day, I was like, you know, I texted you up. I was like, hey, are you free tomorrow?
Yeah.
I want more.
I was like, put me on. Because, you know, I want to be a part of this legacy that you guys are creating.
A lot of people have been like, put me on. And
there's a lot of people that want to
be on the podcast. And it's...
But you see, you have to be direct friends. That's how you get dibs, you know?
Honestly, sometimes kind of.
Yeah.
Sometimes kind of.
Because I remember when I first asked, you were like, no.
You told Kyle no?
The first time I asked, I was like, "Oh, so you got this idea, huh? You should put me on the first on the list." Then you're like, "Nope, gotta wait your turn. You're in line." And I'm like, "Oh, I see how it is."
You did Kyle dirty like that?
No,
since 8th grade, and no. Sorry.
Okay, so what happened was that like we have guests set up already. And like we know which weeks we're having guests and which week we're not having guests, so we have to like schedule around that because like obviously sometimes in a week we'll record more than just one.
Yeah.
Which I think I was thinking about this the other day, or when we first started, we said that we were going to record on Wednesdays and post on Fridays. Not a single one of these have been recorded on a Wednesday
and posted on a
nor posted on a Friday.
You know, it's funny because I think I must have like misheard because I thought it was that you guys were going to post on Wednesday or Friday. It was one of those 2 days that you were going to...
It might have been.
I thought that's what you guys said.
I don't think so. I think I said that we were going to record on Wednesdays, but then my schedule got messed up, so now we can't even record on Wednesdays.
Yeah. And now recording, it just seems like we don't want to put like a schedule, because I felt like before we had a schedule, it was really awkward. We were trying to like get ideas, and now we're just like, you know,
chilling.
We're going to have a conversation. Like, we're not going to schedule this.
That's what most podcasts are. I mean, like a lot of the like bigger ones, right? We'll sit there and try to talk about stuff that's like either super fashionable, or I wouldn't say fashionable. It's more like it's blowing up in social media right now. That's what a lot of them will do. You know, some of the smaller ones usually you talk about like just the people who they bring onto the show, how they've been, what they've been up to, any projects or anything like that. You know, I feel like those ones hit more down to the people who would listen, because they feel like, you know, I've been through the same thing, or I'm going through that right now. So, you know, to be able to hear their experience and how they dealt with it, I think that's awesome. I feel like those, you know, are kind of like getting less light than they need versus the bigger ones, which all they care about is like gossip or drama.
Yeah. Recently, like, we just wanted to like do something, and like make something real, and not like try to force it. And I feel like at first it was like we're trying to force this to happen, and now it's just like,
if it happens, it happens.
Do this. Yeah, let's just do this. But anyways, so what happened? It was that like we do have guests set up, and then it goes guest, or it goes no guest, guest, no guest, guest.
Like it alternates.
Yeah. So like next week
it'll just be us.
It'll just be us.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
those ones are gonna get more always, just because I feel like the creators always get the most fame out of it, only because like, you know, it was your idea. You guys should get credit for it, and I honestly do think you guys should like And for the people that get on, I'm very thankful that I'm here. I was able to come here and talk with you guys because no problem, because this is like the highlight really of like today, because I've always wanted to do something like this and to be able to actually do it with you guys. One of my best friends. Yeah. So it's awesome to be here and awesome to be able to talk with you guys, and especially about like just anything.
Yeah. That's what this podcast is about. It's just just being real. At first it was like, there's, like I said, there's gonna be ups and downs. And that's what this podcast is about. That's why it's called Trouble on Paradise Island. It's ups and downs. It's just that. But I think.
Oh, we just hit 1 hour.
Oh, we've been talking for an hour. So I think this is gonna be it today.
That's all right.
It's gonna be it for today. It's been great talking to you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I feel like I've met Kyle twice before this, so it was nice to like get to know more about you, because like
I think it was just only one time.
Because we met the one time we went to go get Chinese food, and we met you at your house,
and
then you met us at the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
so like this is like the first time I ever like
sat down
and talked to Kyle.
Yeah.
So nice. Great. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We should have one of your friends on next time.
My friends, none of my friends have been on yet.
Yeah, just my friends. Well, Jaden and Carl are like kind of your friends.
They're friends kind of by like
association.
Yeah.
Like if we weren't dating, I probably wouldn't be super close with them, but because we are, like, I feel like I've gotten to know them and like are friends with them now.
Yeah.
So like they're still friends, but like probably if it weren't for you, then I don't know if that'd be the case.
All right. But anyways, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Michaela.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're
Trouble on Paradise Island.
That's it. See you guys next time.